What's up crew, Chaz here with Side Hustle Network. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 items that we have personally sold recently for over $100 on eBay. So before I dive in and show you the exact products that we have sold for over $100, just know that this is not the average sale that happens on a daily basis. The bread and butter items on eBay are typically going to be those $15, $20, $30 items, but every now and then we find some really cool stuff that has a higher price point value. Some of the stuff we have to pay more for, but ultimately these higher dollar flips are a lot of fun to do. So with that being said, I'm gonna dive into my computer here, show you exactly which products that we sold for over $100 each, where we bought them from, how much we paid, all in hopes that it's going to give you a good idea of what to keep an eye out for when you are outsourcing. All right, item number one, I'm going to flash these up on the screen so you can see exactly what I sold them for and the main photo that I took for it. These are going to be specific items, but it kind of gives you an idea of the category I'm looking out for. So with this first item, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vintage action figures. Now these ones are not the super vintage ones. Those are going to be more 1988 through 1992s. But these newer ones, 1998 lot of 4, sold for $115. My cost was about $30. These were actually part of a very large lot that I did get a hold of. I spent $300 and this had 3 giant boxes full of Ninja Turtle stuff. Based on the lots I broke them up into, I paid about $30 per lot. So that just gives you an idea to look out for, especially when you're dealing with the old vintage toys, action figures that are new in the box. And it's super easy to look up comps on this kind of stuff because on the figures, especially in the box, on the back of the box, it will give you a date. So in this case, when I found these, I looked up Ninja Turtles 1998 lot. That gave me some price points to go based off of. I believe I originally priced this at about $125. I ended up getting a few watchers and then I dropped the price down to $115 and somebody bought it instantly. Item number 2 is going to be a Canon GL2. This is actually the second time I have found and sold this exact camcorder. The first time I bought this, I believe I paid between $20 and $30. It was about $110 sell price. That was just the camera without any accessories or anything. This one was part of a bundle deal I found at a garage sale. I paid $80 for this and a couple other items at the garage sale. So the price point broke down again to about $30 was my buy cost for this. It included a bunch of accessories, so I did price it high. I had this sitting at about $250 for a while. Bunch of watchers, a few offers came in that were pretty low. I ended up dropping the price and I accepted $197 out of this. And a big tip for how you can find this stuff is, of course, you can go out to garage sales, estate sales, auctions, storage units, different stuff like that. But I'm a huge fan of finding this stuff because now that I know the price point that it sells at, and you do too, go into your local Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, LetGo, Craigslist, your local marketplace apps, and start looking for these exact type of cameras. If you see this one listed for about $80, put in a lower offer, see if you can get $40 or $50. Now you know how much they resell for, and that gives you some wiggle room in your pricing. And that's the whole point of doing this video for you guys, so you can see more of the stuff that we are personally selling so that you can then reverse search those keywords and try to find it in your local marketplace too. So even though this was a specific Canon GL2 camcorder, just Canon camcorders and cameras in general are fantastic to always keep an eye out for. Now, as far as the testing with the stuff, everyone always asks, how do you test it? You have to use it like a regular consumer would. So when I test this stuff, I am plugging the battery in, making sure that it holds a charge, and 2, all the buttons are going to work on it. I've sold cameras in the past where I did not fully test them and the rewind button, for example, on one camera did not work. So now I'm very meticulous in testing everything as thoroughly as I possibly can. Number 3, this sale actually just happened about a week and a half ago. I found this on Facebook Marketplace for $5, believe it or not. I was actually busy hosting my warehouse sale, so what I ended up doing was I messaged the guy who was about 10 minutes down the road, and I said, hey, for an extra $5, can you bring it to me? He said yes, so I ended up paying $10. It got delivered to me. I took a quick photo. It was all new in package. So the time it took me to photo this, it took me to list it, and then ship it was maybe 5 minutes. and it got delivered to me, so that was a win-win. So $10, this did sell for $175, so it gives you an idea of not just Netgear, anything, routers, etc. are great to keep an eye out for. But this one's a little bit different. It's an Ethernet managed port system. And again, you can now take these keywords and go look in your local marketplace to see if you can find something similar to this. And now you can see what those price points are that they sell for. Some of these are going to sell for $50, others are going to resell for $200. You just need to plug in the model number, which is the great part with anything electronics. That exact model number will give you exact results on what you can sell things for. Number 4 on my list is going to be this Burris ballistic rifle scope. I have not sold many scopes before, so this was one of the first times I've been able to find and resell one for this high. I've sold several other scopes in the past in the $30, $40 range, and oftentimes you can find those for about $5. This one I found at a garage sale. They had it listed for $50, and I ended up working a big deal with this specific garage sale. I found Harley Davidson helmets, I found this big shark fishing reel, found a lot of cool stuff, and we did a bulk deal, and this broke down to be a $20 buy cost. The new ones, and this was in awesome shape, it included the box, which is great, but the new ones were selling between $140, $150, so I came in, I listed at $119.95. Instantly, I started getting $80, $85 offers, which is always a great sign. So instead of taking those offers quick, I knew if I just held out a little bit, I'd probably get my asking price. And sure enough, a few days later, someone came in, bought this at full asking price, $119.95. Number 5, of course, one of my favorite categories is toner. This specific model of toner, this type is HP305A. I've sold this actually a few times now, so when I saw this pop up on Facebook Marketplace for 60 bucks, I knew I had to get in, grab this thing quick, and get it listed ASAP. Sure enough, sold for full asking price, $325. The cool part about selling toner is oftentimes it's not the customer, the regular customer that's buying these lots. They're actual surplus businesses that are going to be repeat buyers. So we sell a lot of our toner to oftentimes the same people because they are toner surplus stores. A lot of the East Coast buyers we seem to get repeats from. And what they do is they can either set keywords for that specific type of toner they're looking for, or they can follow your store. So anytime that you list a new one, they get instantly notified. And that's why a lot of this stuff sells quick for us. And with toner, especially in lots, we always list these as FedEx Smart Post. That way we can just toss these inside of an actual Lowe's box, and oftentimes we're seeing about a $30 or $40 shipping price on these. Number 6, one of my all-time favorite items to keep an eye out for are these Neat Desk scanners. Now, Neat Desk, these have had some waves. There's been a lot of times where the market is very heavily saturated and there's not a lot of resale value in these. And then other times, like this specific time that I sold this, was a very sweet time to get in and do this. So I actually found this in our local Goodwill, new in package for $40, which again, I had to pay up. My cost was a lot higher than typically I would do on my inventory, but that $40 sold within 30 minutes, which made me realize I probably should have priced this closer to the $350 mark, but I turned $40 into a gross sale price of $305 within 30 minutes of listing, so I am definitely happy with that. The used ones, they range in sell price. There's slightly different variations on the model, so you always have to do your research ahead of time on these. But your used ones without a box, sometimes they will sell for $60, other times they will sell for $150. Again, when you find these, if you can find them cheap enough, they are worth looking into. But especially if you find one like this that was all new in package on the inside, the box lid had been opened, this was a very nice find to have. Number 7, vintage camcorders. Another great thing to keep an eye out for. This was a Canon 814 Super 8 vintage electronic movie camera, and it was listed as untested for parts. The working used condition ones, I had seen price points between $250 and $350. I honestly just bought this straight out of the thrift store. I paid $35 for it. Brought it here to the office. I just took a quick set of photos, listed it as 4 parts, untested, right there in the title, you can see that. And it sold fairly quick for $150. And a lot of times people, I used to do this, a lot of people will skip over this stuff because they just think it's old tech. Who's buying these? Oftentimes it might just be a collector that has a wall of these different vintage cameras. And then other times you're going to have people that actually like the footage style that these old camcorders took, so they actually do use them. Ultimately, I don't care who's buying it, as long as I can see a history of sales going on and I can find out the price point that gives us wiggle room in our margin, I will pick these up. And that just goes to show you too, you don't have to test every single item that you do pick up. If there is enough resale value in 4 parts items, we go in and do this too. Number 8 on the list, another set of toner, but this is a different brand. Xerox toner is awesome. Very high dollar amounts to be had within Xerox. I actually found this on Facebook Marketplace, and I believe it was listed for $300 or $350. I put in a lower offer and I said, hey, if no other offers come in, I can do 200 bucks. They accepted the offer. I went down real quick, picked these up because I knew they were worth some cash, listed them up on eBay, and of course we had one of our repeat business buyers buy these up fairly quick. I believe these sold in about a 2-day time frame for a full asking price of $500. So if you have been missing out on the toner game, be sure you are keeping an eye out for this stuff. Again, go into your Facebook Marketplace app, your OfferUp, Craigslist, start looking for these keywords because a lot of the time people don't know what kind of money is in this. And this was a prime example of why people sell these for so cheap. This was actually out of a business. They had bought extra toner that they didn't need. A lot of times these businesses just write them off on their taxes, so they're not worried about getting full retail cash out of this. That's why they were happy to take 200 bucks. They got their extra tax write-off most likely. I was able to come in here, snipe it, and sell it for 500 bucks. And real quick, just in case you didn't catch on by now, these are all gross sales prices. Of course, we have fees and shipping costs involved with this. So any numbers I'm throwing out right now is just what the item sold for. Number 9, probably one of my favorite flips I have done recently on eBay. I was a huge horror movie fan. Some of you guys may have seen the actual video I did just on this flip here. When I saw these pop up on Facebook Marketplace, I could not pass up on them. Luckily, I did strike a really good deal. I did pay $80 for these, which again was a higher buy cost than I would like to do, but I knew that there was some money to be made here. There was a lot of data to go by. I was able to kind of eyeball what the lot would be worth based on the individual sales of the different characters within this Puppet Master set. But nobody had really sold a large lot like this one. So I did have this priced fairly high. I started at $400, which I knew was way beyond what most people would probably be willing to pay. I wanted to see if I would get any watchers at that price point, which I did. So after doing that, I was sending out offers week by week. These were listed for probably about 6 weeks total. Week by week, I would send out offers, drop the price a little bit, and I had to find that sweet spot. Sure enough, $260 came in and I accepted that offer. And the cool part with selling these types of items is I know, like myself, it's going to a collector who's going to appreciate these type of vintage action figures. So again, just like the Ninja Turtles, vintage action figures, new in box, always something to look into. Last but certainly not least, camera lenses. Oftentimes, there's going to be a lot of camera bodies, the actual camera itself floating around local marketplaces, garage sales, etc. It's never really about the camera body itself that's worth a lot of money. It's the lenses that go with it. So this lens, I actually never intended to buy for resale. I bought this lens to use on my camera for this YouTube channel, and I used this for many months. And I got to the point where I started using my other lenses a lot more than this one. I knew this was worth some money. I paid $420 for this for personal use. So again, I was not looking to flip this or resell it at all. Then when it came time to kind of liquidate my own personal stuff and I looked at my lens collection, I decided which ones I was going to sell. I looked this one up and shockingly the value went up since I had been buying this. So this sold full asking price. This was listed for about a week for $525. I paid $420. So even after my fees, my shipping, my original cost of $420, I still made about a $20 or $30 net profit on this camera lens when I had no intention to make a profit on this sale. But that's not to mention that there is plenty of profit to be made on camera lenses because a lot of people will have these types of lenses. They either want to get rid of them quick or they have no idea what the actual resale value is. So oftentimes, if you are looking on marketplaces locally for you, you can find these under market value, put in a lower offer, get that offer, and then resell these for the full retail value. So if you are not hunting down camera lenses, definitely look into this. So there you have it, folks. Those are 10 items that we have personally sold recently. This isn't us just going through eBay randomly and finding stuff to show you. This is based on actual sales that we have made based on stuff that we have went out and found. And again, I wanted to do this type of video for you as well as more videos like this. That way it gives you an idea to maybe think outside of your usual category, gives you some specific items to keep an eye out for when you are outsourcing. And it's gonna push you to be a little bit better of a reseller by researching researching some of these categories, whether it's vintage action figures, the camera lenses, camcorders, toner. There's so many categories available at your fingertips to go and research so that you can know the resale value of each individual product within the category, so that when you go out and source and you see this stuff, you're gonna think, hey, I saw this on that video, let me just look it up real quick. So if you got some value out of this video, please do me a favor, comment below, hit the like button. And in your comment as well, if you have sold anything for over $100, I'm very curious to see what kind of flips you guys are doing that are a higher dollar amount. So comment below, let us know some of your favorite flips that you've done that are worth over $100. So hopefully you got some value out of this video. Thanks for tuning in, it's been Chaz, we'll see you next time.